I began working in glass as a teenager. I went to a summer program called Horizons New England Craft Program, and you could choose different electives. And one of the years that I attended that program, I took glass blowing for the first time. I think that the interesting thing about glass specifically in terms of its process is it is always capturing a moment in time. It retains every mark and every moment and movement within the process of hot glass, and also in the process of warm glass like kiln forming, which I use a lot in my practice. So that is really, really interesting for me conceptually, and also specifically in relation to the still life tradition. So it kind of, when I focus on that, that frees me from this expectation that something has to look a certain way. The most important part of being a maker over a period of decades is just the knowledge of how to solve problems, the resourcefulness that you gain every time you solve one problem. The next problem becomes more manageable in some ways and less known in other ways. I think if you play your cards right in your studio, or that's how I play my cards in my studio, we can say that safely. Yeah, you just have a larger kind of crayon box after a period of decades of just different tools that you can use to imagine, and hopefully the next piece is your best piece, that it continues to grow and expand in that way. Making is constantly an active experience, and understanding that you are the most important person that needs to evaluate and analyze and decide what that final outcome needs to be, even if the final outcome is not important, but the actual process of investigation leads you to a certain outcome. So, one could argue that there's many issues in academia and art school at this point in time, but I do feel like that is one of the most solid foundations that I received in my training. The longer that I'm making things, the more I can relax into the practice and also just find like sheer joy in the act of making, because things get so complicated in life, and sometimes it just feels euphoric to come into the studio and just be making whatever you're making.